So I'm in a park under the tree, and I'm going to talk about ego as entity, operating system, and then these basically programs that are running. Self-concept, psyche can be a conglomerate of a lot of programs. Okay, and so ego exists because consciousness is here, and it's using this self-concept, mental body reference to basically tell a story. Now, however, usually in the earlier stages of our lives, we can tell ourselves separate from the ego. Okay, so how can we have enlightenment? Like I can tell you you're God and this stuff. Nobody can tell you that in words. Okay, perhaps it can be told like who's looking, some kind of strategy that teachers would use to override the story. Because in our journey we are problem shooting, we're trouble storing by assuming there's a problem and then creating a story of looking for a solution in a linear storytelling device. Yeah, that is the ego. So that ego might be looking for God or enlightenment, and so you cannot realize consciousness because it's so subtle, and then the story literally fragments into more pieces all the time. And God is wholeness. So only by regressing into pure consciousness you can also see, okay, this consciousness is in my body, but it's also everywhere, and it's everything. Okay, and that's how you can know that, by observation, not by story. And once we know that, we can also start to discern, if I'm consciousness and I'm using this operating system, what kind of programs I'm running. And then you will see some programs are actually creative and others are constricting or destructive, and you can create both, but then also you can communicate both. Now, destructive programs, they range from, hey, I'm not in the mood to go out right now, so this boundary creates a choice point for me where I can stay home, and if you want to go out, I'm not in the mood, so thank you. So I will not connect to that timeline, I will not connect to that energy. And so they're dark, like destructive. Yeah? But I wouldn't equate that necessarily with evil. But if they're running in an unconscious operating system, they can start to create all kind of mayhem, which we then equate with evil. This is why I'm making this video. I want to differentiate negative programs from destructive programs from creative programs, negative from positive. So most certainly we can be grounded in consciousness and then have feedback to our subscriptions, and let's say, so what I've been doing with my life, and I'm gonna maybe close some doors. So I'm gonna unsubscribe from certain timelines or people, or even my own stories that I have that are looping there, lingering there. They don't serve me anymore, so close the tabs. So without the negative aspect, you wouldn't be able to actually dissolve anything. And however, if you allow programs to die, stories to die, ego to die, what is left? If you actually also would just completely annihilate this appearance of reality, well, pure consciousness is left. If you jump beyond death, if you jump in your imagination, if you fast forward beyond annihilation, complete annihilation, you're still there. Okay? That's called Shiva. You're still there. Annihilate or all form, annihilate duality, you're there. You realize your consciousness, okay, you still exist. So previous to creation of form and inhabitation of form, and after any form is dissolved, you're still there in the eternal, what is called eternal now moment. Just chilling there, infinite time to kill. So let's do something again. Create a roller coaster of forms to inhabit and then experience yourself through, and then annihilate that or dissolve it and then jump into another one. So from this ultimate perspective that's called liberation, because you already know yourself to be that, there's no life and death, and all of these cycles are just they're a carousel of horses and turtles and peoples who are going around the infinite carousel. Now the infinite carousel is called also samsara, if you don't know that actually it's not even you being separate as a human, but it's the carousel driving itself. Okay, so the first person, the ego, might think, oh, this is my story, this is happening to me. There's a lot of that. Well, you're closed in a video game that simulates that it's happening to you and that you are doing it, but you're not actually the doer. So the ego confuses this, like, oh, they said this about me. Like, they said this about me and I'm gonna make this business and then I made $1 million and this is how I did. But like, it's not. This is how the story is told, okay? So, I mean, it's okay. A little bit of ignorance is there for fun. Because this is how it is constructed for consciousness to have an immersive experience. And you know who did it? Oh, the demiurge. Well, who made the demiurge? Like the Matrix, who made them? Well, you did, right? So the illusion is self-inflicted, and then the ignorance is self-inflicted for the fun of it. So all the egos walking around in human vessels, they're like, they said this about me, and they didn't give me the turtle, but then I made, like, in spite of them, I made, like, what is this song with, like, a rap song? Where Notorious B.I.G. he raps about nobody ever believed in me, and then I went to sell crack and now I got Super Nintendo. I'm paraphrasing the lyrics, okay? Like, just, you know what I mean? Like, but the teacher said I was trash, and then I went, and now look at me now. So the consciousness is really experiencing the story, and the consciousness is really experiencing the ego. But nothing is real. Inherently, nothing is real. And also you can't know that as a mental concept and go about and saying like, oh yeah, nothing is real. This is how I go and manifest everything because nothing is real, and you used to laugh at me, but I knew, even then I knew, everybody was laughing at me, but I knew nothing is real. Now I'm making YouTubes and I'm telling y'all nothing is real, but y'all still don't believe. So that would be still ego, but if you take it with a little bit comical relief, then it's fine, you know, then it's samsara and nirvana, like they're buddies. So saying nothing is real may be a way to disarm your problem-solving thinky winky pad, your little intellectual computer that's writing stories, and like there's 20 little monkeys here and they're typing on little typing machines, like tick, 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 they're newspaper, like these movies when they work in a newspaper in the office, and then there's all these reporters in the office, and they're all of them are typing stories. You have that here installed, and then they're going little newspaper monkeys and they're writing stories, and it's cool. And then sometimes we're caught up like, how will I do it? And like I'm trying to manifest, but why don't they love me? And why do they say this stuff about me? And I would never be good enough, or I'm better than everybody, right? So the story. goes, and then it develops. But just saying like nothing is real is there to disarm the monkeys, to disarm the lingo, and you can be like, I was saying whatever. So, I'm saying here things because it's samsara and I'm in it and we're on YouTube, and so I'm supposed to say things and it's fun to talk. And whatever I'm saying is just subtitle of some relative, like even like, non-duality and like Shiva and emptiness and nirvana. It's a relative subtitle. If you want to talk about basketball, we're gonna talk different story. And then in basketball, one year it's gonna be Lakers, and then another year it's gonna be Denver, and then another year it's gonna be whoever. So there's nothing absolute. Everything always changes in the dance. In the dance of polarities, in the dance of Maya. Maya is dancing and it's just always shape-shifting. And then we subtitle that. So that's our jobs when we are like doctors, scientists, they're making things up. They're subtitling the illusion. Okay? And then we build bridges in the illusion and we make money. It's monopoly money, bro. It's like video game money. And then we flex the money in the video game, So saying it's not real is just to sometimes disarm, but then don't try to know that. It's just look through the story and be like, oh, I got caught in the storyline again. And sometimes try dancing and singing actually, because the mind can be spinning a lot and the mind can lie to us. So sometimes the negative, the positive stories, we don't even discern because conscience just becomes immersed with the ego. That's the point from the beginning. You might have like self-inflating or self-deflating thought forms. If you don't take it with a grain of salt, or like this little bit of clowning, a little bit of humor, a little bit of transcendence, wow, they can spin. They can spin a lot. They spin a lot. And then we don't know how to discern because conscience immersed in the storytelling. So you like lean back and you look at the thoughts and you look at the problems and you look at the self-inflation or deflation and you'll be like, good. It's not really, it's already perfect here, and then whatever. And then thought forms, they like stop dancing because if they're not entertaining you, because they're made of Maya, and Maya is a stripper. Oh my god, I call the goddess a stripper, right? Oh my god. I'm in love with a stripper. Da, 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 da. See you later.